All right, here we go. Part 3, the last part. This should wrap up the critique of the motion assignment for you guys. So let's leap right into it. Well, we have a freeze motion, and it does definitely freeze it. There's no sign of movement in the water. But what is the story that this freeze is telling? Is this a lake? Is it really the ocean? Is it a bay? What's going on here? It's a reasonably nice, quiet picture. You've got a horizon that should be pouring all this water onto the beach based on the slope of it. But you guys know how to correct all that. And putting the horizon line more or less in the middle, telling me that both the sky and the foreground are of equal value. I'm not sure what this is. Probably a lens flare, but I'm not sure. So, yeah, it froze it. I'll give you that. But where's the picture in this? Again, it's in here. If there is one. So what do we need all of this for? Beats me. And here we have a blurred shot, I assume, of the bird of paradise blowing in the wind. Okay. So we've got a long shutter speed. Is there a photograph in here? And if so, what's it of? Is it of this chimney or this brick thing, whatever, or this pillar, whatever it is? Is it supposed to be something about the bird of paradise, or is this just simply a way to say, well, I used a long exposure, so it must meet the assignment? Here we have one that is also listed as a blur. I'm not exactly sure where that blur is. I guess the water isn't frozen specifically, so we could semi-count that. But if you're going to blur water, blur it. Make it look like cotton candy is the traditional view of that. And if you're not, freeze it. Do something with it. But don't do something half-hearted that's neither fish nor fowl for this. And if this is your shot, if this is where it is, then what is all this doing to help it? You need some location. So we could use what I assume is an old bridge abutment with this beautiful old rustic brickwork out here in the wilderness or wherever this is. But do we need it all? Or do we want to start looking and going, what is this? Are there any birds in these trees? Any squirrels? What's going on in here? It's just distracting. Well, this is referred to as a freeze. And again, I guess it is. The little smoke thing is frozen. The flames are frozen. Do you actually know what state of matter a flame is? Is it a solid? Is it a gas? Or is it something else? Anyway, this definitely froze the flame, but what does it tell us, if anything, about the fire, I assume, fake log, the fireplace, the fire pit, the reason for having a fire in the first place? Does it tell us any of that? Maybe not. Well, here we have some frozen water that has kind of a story to it. So this worked pretty well down in here. I think, again, we could concentrate right in this area and make this a stronger shot. But at least we've got a story here. We've got the elements in it that are telling it. We've got something we can work from. And it's because of the cloud cover and the almost monochromatic scheme already, we could pretty much make a grayscale out of this and it would still work. I like the really subtle color in it. But again, the only thing I would do here is crop it differently so that I'm really looking at here where the action is. Ask yourself, once you've seen this, what is this all doing to sell the action? Do you really want to look at these barnacles? Cool, then get in top of them and look at them. Make those your picture. If this is your picture, then anything else that's fun to look at is just going to distract from where your picture is. Make each photograph contain one subject, not multiple ones. All right, so we panned with the car to get this shot. This is a good catch for this kind of technique. It certainly appears that it's streaking along through whatever this location is. And I don't think we need all of this, but This was a good catch from a motion standpoint. Just come in, tighten up on your shots. All of you guys, this has been a constant theme in this particular group of pictures. Are you overshooting because you want to be sure and catch the action? Okay, I understand that. But even though it comes at the cost of resolution, at least go in the post-production and compose it correctly. You can do that, you know. Well, this is a kind of a fascinating use of multiple blur. It's like the camera's moving, the subject, the bird, is moving. Is there more than one bird here? This is really kind of interesting. I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking at. Are we having a major fight? What's going on here? This is really interesting in here. But here is where the shot is. This is where all the action is going on. This is just background. You only need enough to establish that he's not in a pen somewhere sitting on the concrete. You don't need all of this. Our shot's right in here. Well, here's a good frieze capture of this fountain, of the water in this fountain. It's always fascinated me how when water is frozen like that, it becomes plastic of sorts. It's no longer water in the way we normally think of it. And this is pretty cool. But here's your shot. Did you guys go out and buy new cameras with the big label on the back that says "Thou shalt not crop"? It's interesting because this has a really nice catch of this water. Well, this is pretty cool. Doing the motion blur with someone walking. Must have had a fairly long exposure to pull this off. Again, he's going this way. He's moving in this direction. So give him a little less room behind him and a little more room in front of him so that he's not crowding into that corner. And I would also probably pick up some of this from somewhere and get rid of the street sign that's growing out of his head. And that would allow you to really concentrate on his face, on your subject here, which is him, not the street, not the trees, not the sign. It's him. So make that your shot. Well, at least you got the camera turned on its side for a vertical shot. That was a good call. Good call. And it does appear that either he's practicing his soccer bounce with his head or somebody's thrown this at him. Be careful with your sun flares. Here, if the sun is anywhere close to the axis of the lens, it will flare in it. Get yourself a lens hood, a big one, to help stop that, and it'll get rid of a lot of this. But this is a pretty good catch. But again, your shot's here. So move in on it. Get rid of all this sky. The sky's doing nothing for you. The foreground's really doing nothing for you. We can solve the lens flare this way. And there we have a shot that tells me what the shot is about. It's not about the expanse of grass. It's not about the swimming pool. It's not about the fence. It's about him doing his soccer practice. So move in on these shots. You're going to make them so much better. And that's it. That's the end of the material for the motion assignment. And now we'll be off on to the next assignments. So take care. I'll see you all next time.